Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Caccera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Caccera.
Welcome in, Joe Caccera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. As we end up the week, we are on Friday, and if it's Friday, Buddy and Bobby are alongside. Good to have you guys here again.
Hallelujah, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, we sure are. It's always fun.
Fun Friday and Factual Friday and all kinds of great stuff we call Fridays. Mm-hmm. But living longer, living better, you know, if you've been following the show for nearly 7 years, this is an ongoing segment Bobby and Buddy have put together and do an outstanding job in terms of really staying focused on that topic. And it is for sure, you guys, what is it, 10,000 a day? People retiring? That's the number, right?
Turning 65.
Turning 65.
Yeah,
okay.
Baby
and
boomers turning 65.
Right. 76 million in the next 20 years.
So a lot.
To 20, so there's lots of us.
So stay focused on this topic. We'll try to keep you entertained for sure. Before we jump in, just a reminder, in this market, it is extremely challenging, and I can't stress enough to make sure you have the right agent. Bobby is one of those. You've heard me say it many times before. I'll continue to do that. Roughly 10% or less of agents do 90% of the business. What that means is you have to make sure you're aligned with the right agent. The person understands it, lives it, works it full time. If you need to sell your home, looking to buy a home, contact Bobby. A couple different ways you could reach her. And one is the email, bobby@bobbydecker.com. You could text or call 650-346-5352. Or you could always visit the website, bobbydecker.com. That's BOBBIDECKER.com. On the finance side, I could help you with that. If you're getting ready to purchase a home, maybe you need to be pre-approved. Make sure you get the pre-approval before you look for a home.
Yes.
Make sure you do that.
Listen to him. He knows from whence he talks.
Don't make a mistake and say, I think I could afford $2 million, and then, oops, I can't.
I know, Joe. It's a big oops.
Yes, it is. 408-838-9060 if I could help you on the financing side, or you could always email joe@reradiolive.com. All right, so let's jump in. We are going to talk about the focus on older adults in California, really. The living longer, living younger or older? What are we?
Better.
Better.
As best as we can.
I have too much of this on my mind. So today we're going to cover some of the information on Bobby's blog, which is very, very good, California Focus on Older Adults. Stay with us is really important information in California, and there's many trends that will be replicated around the world as
we've got a lot of
live
people
longer,
aging.
right? We do.
Japan's got the same problem. Europe's got the same problem. Mm-hmm. And there's other places that we probably don't know that much about, but this aging scenario complicates things. We live longer than we used to.
Yeah, and let's face it, there's things we could change, we have control over, right? What we buy, where we live, all these different. But guess what? We cannot control the aging process.
How come we can't stall time?
Stall time.
Can I have a year off for bad behavior or time?
So, Bobby, get us started with this.
Well, Living Longer, Living Better monthly podcast. You know that we do a lot of research, and we did it for my blog. And actually, the blog that we're speaking to right now today is the one that was actually posted on August 17th of this year.
2017, yeah.
Right,
last week.
Right. Yeah. So we are kind of cranking ahead and wanting to bring out some more of the statistics. And what we're doing is it's a senior update. And it's every Thursday they put it out there. So if you're aged 50 or older, understand this. You are the future. And boomers go, oh, they've got all the millennials. No. I've got 3 or 4 meetings next week alone, Joe, with with senior housing because they want to know what are the demographics. I mean, what are the boomers looking for kind of thing. And so while you're enjoying today because it's a gift, just understand that knowing what to expect for tomorrow is going to give you the peace of mind.
So true.
It's kind of a Bobbyism, if you know kind of what to expect. You never know.
Does this
sure.
get your head out of the sand? Article?
Sort of.
Okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure.
Sort of. So, if you are aging, and we just laughed about that, you're not alone. First of all, California is currently projected as one of the fastest growing states in the nation. And that's just because we know Silicon Valley and all the opportunity and the weather. By the year 2020, we're expected to represent 14% of the entire country's population. And, Joe, that's an increase of 15.7 million people. That's a lot because we have a huge state.
And that's not that far away.
No.
2020.
No, it sounds like,
we're talking 3 years.
Yeah, come on.
So from 1990 to 2020, those aged 60 or over were actually increased by 112%, Joe. And like you said,
nobody's leaving California.
No. Why would we leave with this weather and all?
Yeah, when everything that we've got here, we're not leaving.
Right. And the adult population is expected to grow twice as fast as the total population. Again, because the boomers were in abundance, because they have taken care of themselves, even though we make fun about the fact that had I known I'd live to be this old, I would have taken better care of myself. But, Buddy, come on, give us a few stats. You've got some great statistics and maps.
The stat man, here he comes.
Stat man, give me that data. Actually, what I'm going to recommend everybody really go to that August 17th blog because you can click on a map. We've got this map here, and of course radio is not visual, but this map is going to drive you crazy. The idea here is between 1990 and 2020, where are the increases in the county going to be? Where's the most impact of the senior aging in place kind of community going to be? When you look at this map, it gets scary. There's places that are over 200% increase in those 2 decades. My goodness gracious. 3 decades, right?
That's amazing.
What do we got? Yeah, so here's the best the best scenario, the easiest one to tell you. There's only 4 counties in all of California that will have an under 50% growth of senior population. That's only 4 counties out of, what do we got here?
Oh, my gosh. 24? More than that, right?
26,
30.
30 I have to count. Yeah, 31.
I think 32 counties.
32 counties across California. Only 4 are going to have less than 50% growth. Siskiyou, Pulmus, Inyo, and the surprising one to me is Marin. Out here on the coast, because none of the other coastal areas have that low, shall we say, growth rate of the percentage of people. But if we jump around, and I know Joe's going to give you a couple of very local ones, but if I jump way out, the 200%ers are out in places that probably
well, Placer County,
a lot of people are retiring out there.
Exactly, that's Del Webb personified out there.
Yeah, so those places where seniors are moving to from the Bay Area are seeing a great deal of that growth. All the Del Webb locations around California, those folks are congregating in particular areas. So it's really great. You've got to go to Bobby's blog on the 17th of August, and there's a place there you can just click and look at this map. You're going to be very surprised by it. It is a beautiful visual that says, wow, the population is aging and aging dramatically, and the percentage of people that are not leaving California and living longer and living better.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. You could even look at the map and figure out where you plug in, right?
Yeah. You could, any place in California. Right. And our conversation is this is not highly California focused. We have lots of other places in the world that are facing the same issues, and the what are we going to do about it scenario gets pretty extensive between both the private and governmental scenario. So we're gonna try and help everybody learn a little bit more about some of these things. And what you're learning about California really applies in a lot of places. So all of those folks in the international downloaders of our podcast, stay with us. You'll find some value in all of this.
Stay with us. That's right. We are the leader in everything, California. And I'll
absolutely. And
so more data, more information for you. We're going to stay close to home here. San Francisco and San Mateo counties will likely see about a 50 to 99% increase of their aged 60-plus population. While we have Santa Cruz County, we'll see an average over 100% increase, Santa Cruz. And then to round up, Santa Clara County, which is where we're broadcasting from today, expects an increase of over 150%. So we're in
big
that
numbers.
Big numbers.
Big numbers.
They're huge.
Yeah.
And this data has substantial impact on towns and cities and counties, Joe, because, if you've got local, regional, statewide agencies, they're all turning their focus towards program services for seniors, caregivers, and adults with disabilities. And you know what I see, though? A lot of nonprofits are going to have to merge.
Yeah.
They're stepping on each other's toes.
Good point.
They really are right now. So in general, you can expect much more attention, awareness, and affordable options in the areas of adult day health care, self-care support, community-based services, caregiver support, nutrition, insurance, legal counseling, and long-term care. Now, there were people speaking to those issues yesterday in the seminar that Buddy and I were speaking at, and all I could see was everybody's got a great point, but I think there are too many agencies, so you're going to see that consolidation. Do you know what I mean?
Good point.
The states the state's getting in on this, preparing to expand its health workforce. Yes, the training programs, and then to fund culturally competent care by hiring family members when it's available. So there's what I love to see is people thinking outside the box. Right. They're not going to stick grandma or mom, who's now 80, right, because the boomers are in their 50s and 60s. They're not going to stick her in a little square box somewhere. They're not
the tiny home.
No, that's right. They have people coming in. Yep. We see a lot of people going into other people's homes to take care of them rather than sending them to it.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to take a break here, you guys, but it's so true. And first of all, thank you guys for spending so much time and energy on this, because this is really, really, really important. We talk about how people don't plan for retirement, right? We hear that all the time. Yeah. Less than 10% of people are prepared to retire financially, right?
Yeah.
But think of what I've been thinking about as we're talking about this. What is the percentage of people that really are prepared, not only the financial part, but the aspects of retirement? Because we're not turning 65 and sitting around and doing nothing anymore.
No,
that's
all
changed,
kinds of things are going on. So you really have, this is sort of that future think.
Yeah,
you've got to get into that future think mode and start to look down the road.
Yep.
As early as possible, really, in your lifespan today, because if we're gonna cross the bridge at 50 and you're pretty healthy, they say your potential to live into the 80s and 90s and even 100s are pretty good. That's a long time.
It is.
After 60. I mean,
and you want to try to do it as well as possible.
Right? Yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. This is really good stuff. We're going to continue the conversation about California focus on older adults. A lot of good data, a lot of good information. Joe Kuchera sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. We'll be back with you to continue in just a minute.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com.
Are you living your desired lifestyle in your primary residence or your vacation property? Is it time to redefine what living environment works best for you? If you are a couple with a growing family, an empty nester, or just want that getaway property that fulfills a dream, each of those circumstances could mean selling and or buying a property. The Bobbi Decker team can provide you optimized results, either with her San Francisco Bay Area team or working with any of the 750-plus Sotheby's International Realty offices around the world. Bobbi's skills, attention to detail, and level of support for her clients has set her apart in assisting people to optimize results selling their properties or finding the home that meets their needs and desires. For more information or assistance, contact Bobbi at 650-346-5352. Visit her website at www.bobbydecker.com or email bobby.decker@sotheby'srealty.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. It is Friday, sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. Our focus today, Living Longer, Living Better. And the focus is California focus on older adults. First part of the segment, we talked a lot about data, statistics. And as we wrapped up the first segment, you guys, it was, I think the point we were trying to bring home is you really seriously have to do some planning here. This is an evolution. There'll be big changes. The aging population is real, and it's not. In other words, it's not going away. It's not something we could brush underneath the carpet. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later. Plan. What do you think?
Yeah, we live in San Mateo, so we know that city 5 years ago put together a commission to figure out what the city was going to need to do and worry about as it regarded the senior community. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't already started, you're behind a curve already. But when Bobbi ended up that other segment, the last comment was about family members taking care of people and maybe even situations where the government will help support that situation. Well, I've got some other news for you talking about families. Family structures in this age group will also change considerably. In particular, marital status will look quite different among the seniors in 2030 than it does today. A couple of quick statistics. The fastest projected rates of growth are among the divorced, separated, and never married groups. Oh. Okay, I mean, we know the divorce rate is very high. Mm-hmm. We know a lot of people are living the single life for a long time. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the biggest group in 2030. Between 2012 and 2030, the number of married people over 65 will increase by 75%. Wow. Okay, but the number of who are divorced or separated will increase by 115%. And the number that are never married, 210%.
Whoa!
Wow, those are kind of surprising numbers to me.
When you look at it's kind of funny, and I guess we shouldn't joke about this, but we could joke every once in a while. It's all good, right? When you look at the numbers,
we're old enough.
We have a right to joke, right?
That's right.
At our age.
Well, right. Tongue in cheek. We've seen it all.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm looking at these statistics. 115%, the divorce and separated is going to increase by 115%. It's the reason why the 210% are looking at those numbers going, I don't know if I want to go there.
That's right. That's right.
Do I want to join that crowd? I don't think so.
No.
Oh, boy. Well, anyway, so this is we're having a good time, and it's good to have some humor in everything you do, but it's a huge impact, and it's a serious impact for sure. And the larger number of single, childless, and divorced seniors, more than ever before, what it means really is more support is going to be lacking for family support, and we talked about it a little bit. We don't, and I don't know this too. I don't know if we've ever done a story or the cultural differences between, different countries.
Well,
right?
I'm raising my hand here, jumping up and down, Joe, because I just got done with that international class.
That's right.
And China. Mm-hmm. China made a strategic error. I think it was 25 or 30 years ago. So I'm going to have to look to see exactly when they remember the one child only.
Oh yeah,
one child only. Right. They have no one to take care of the adults. Look at what they did. And then the one child, they wanted it to be a boy. They didn't have enough girls. So now there are many young men who are having to go outside of the country to marry. And, of course, it brings up all kinds of issues within the family. But they don't have that structure that they used to have, because they used to have a lot of children, and they took turns taking care of the parents. It was a tight group. It was mind-boggling to read the statistics, what that one child. Now they've said you can have two, but the people have that one child is almost about 20. That's why I'm saying it's like a 20-year-old policy. And they're going, if you think I'm having another child after I got this one out of the nest, ain't working.
No. But it points out clearly that the issue, they made a dramatic change, but the cultural changes around the world are happening as well. It always was the family, the core family unit that took care of the elders in the family and made sure that everything went well for them. And what we're talking about with the divorce rate and the childless couples and on and on and on and on are really representing this whole issue, maybe not as aggressively or as impactfully as China, but there is an impact.
Yeah. There is. And I'm teaching next week, actually. I'm doing a 2-day course on the SRES, which is the Seniors Real Estate Specialist. Yeah. And that course is very, very vital to knowing how to deal with seniors, because you don't want to be condescending. You don't want to be totally out of the loop, so to speak, on how to handle them. And this is a wonderful, wonderful course, because you have to slow your pace down. I do. I talk fast. Yeah. I mean, we all go at Mach 1000, but you slow the pace down. And just knowing facilities that are available. Atria just came into Foster City. They have 3 levels, Joe. They've got senior living, then they've got assisted living, and then they have dementia facility. So you've got, and a lot of people... And not to throw anything out there, but Del Webb thought of it as just being a senior community without the layers, without that tiering. Atria is really thinking, well, what if you get sick? And then what happens to you if you get dementia? So they're taking care of all 3 levels. And you need to be aware of that. Agents who are dealing with downsizing and all need to be aware of what's available.
Well, talk a little bit. I'd like you to expand a little bit on the senior real estate specialist. And the reason why, Bobby, this is that I know you are, and you're one of the best at making sure that you're covered in all the educational aspects of real estate to make yourself a better value to everybody. But I'm not sure that all real estate agents have that same mindset. I guess my point is if we're talking about a community that's growing at record pace and these people need to be taken care of, why wouldn't more of the real estate community endorse something like this and get trained and educated? I mean, you have to be able to serve these. This is the consumer. This is your clients, right? These are clients.
Exactly. And the one big case is, they're looking at just the short term, not building. Everyone goes, oh, you're doing so well now. How did you do it? I took care of my clients for 25 to 30 years. I went to graduations. I went to baby showers. I went to, whatever. They became extended family, because you can't build those kind of relationships overnight. You know that, Joe.
So you actually worked more than full time for years. You dedicated yourself. You trained yourself. You committed yourself. You treated people with respect and dignity. Whatever happened to that?
I
don't want to get off on another tangent.
You want to go? You want to talk about?
I think we only have about 5 minutes left.
The pragmatist of Silicon Valley, the mean
We'll
people.
have to do another program on that.
We're not going to do that, are we?
But I do want to tell you about one couple.
Okay.
Joe, the son wanted them to sell a house, so they sold this house, and the agent did not look at other facilities. Where are they going to go? Now, it does not take a genius to know you're going to sell your house quickly if it's listed at any price that's worthwhile now, due to the lack of inventory. Okay, they ended up going from their home. They got a rent back, but it wasn't enough. They then had to go into temporary, corporate housing. They had a dog. The dog wrapped himself around the person, tossed him down the stairs. So now you're talking about injuries, because the dog was spooked about living in so many different spots. And then I was able to help them out. The daughter called me. Finally, I was able to help them find a nest where they would be happy at. But because no one looked ahead, actually by the time they found the place, they actually should have been in assisted living. But then because of the fall and because of other health issues, they were limited to where they could go live, Joe. They couldn't just go to, like, the senior living that we're talking about with Atria. You couldn't go there. It would have to be assisted living that you went to. And then what level of assisted living? So there's a lot to look at for senior.
Yeah, and the impact is broad brush.
It is.
It's not just those seniors, okay? It's all their offspring. It's all the caregivers. It's all the government organizations, what they need to do. And what Bobbi brought up is the private sector organizations have to play a role in a more substantial increase in the effort of private organizations to do it. The Atria story is a very important one. That was going to be built by another company some decade ago. So they're behind the curve in building the facilities they're going to need to take good care of these people. That particular facility is really gorgeous. I think you need to really make sure that you understand all the options. If you're a real estate agent, consider taking Bobbi's course, the SRES. It's going to tell you all the different characteristics of the different age groups. And what you need to know, and the most important step of all, is before you help them sell the house, make sure you know where they're going to go.
It's all. I don't care who you take the course. There aren't a lot of us NAR, teachers, but there are some. So wherever you are, wherever you're listening in,
around the world,
yes,
yeah.
Because it's just going to make you so much more tuned. Speakers come in. They talk about elder abuse. I mean, that's another whole program, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just there are all these facets, and I don't expect to be an expert in them all, but I certainly will bring the experts to you.
But that key one is know where they're going to go before you sell their home on them, because it can turn into that story that Bobbi told you, and there's some more details to that aren't very pretty either.
We're going to have to duck out in a second, but I'll end it by saying, the other part about elder abuse is a lot of people they think of that as physical, and there's certainly that, sadly. But here's the other part. It's the financial.
Oh, it's awful.
Right? They're taking advantage of all the time on a regular basis. We know that for sure. Statistics tells us that, people are scammed on a regular basis, and most of it's senior citizen. And it doesn't, and here's the sad part too. You know what? Family and friends are doing this to their family, right?
That's
so it's really sad.
Maybe before you check us out, Joe, just one push to say
absolutely.
Bobbi Senior Spotlight every Thursday on her blog. Please tune in.
Every Thursday, go to the blog, BobbiDecker.com. Again, it's BOBBI Decker, DECKER.com. You can find out, look at the blogs, follow the blogs, and keep informed. All right, we're going to duck out. Thanks, you guys. Good show as usual. A lot of good information. Stay tuned for more information. You can always go to RERadiolive.com. Until next time, take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com.